All right, there we go. We are recording. Okay, so let's jump back into that again. So if they want to use, or if they're going to move to this, that's fine. We just need to figure out how to use it. So how long is this video? It's an hour. So
Oh, wow.
we're gonna want to keep that up, save that off to the side there. I'll have to watch it later. So we'll have to review that. And what else we got here? Yeah, we're gonna have to review probably all of those. Daniel,
Yes.
are you able to take this kind of by the horns and start reviewing all these things?
Sure.
I know it's going to be a little bit of a daunting task. I'm not exactly sure. Let's kind of fast forward into this. Oh, mute. Okay, so
Well, I pretty much know what I need to do. I just, just need to learn the commands to execute the process.
yeah, I've got it muted right now. I'm just kind of thumbing through it here for a second. So it looks, God, man, that looks way more complicated than what I thought it would be.
Yeah, that's why I don't use it. I use Legacy, and I do all my animation and rigging in Blender, and then I put it in Unity because I've had issues with Mecanum in the past. Because if you make an animation in there and you accidentally hit the box that says Legacy, it literally deletes the animation, and there's no backup. So no matter what you worked on, it's gone at that point.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I don't like that. Maybe they'll improve that later, but it's not good for me personally.
Okay, man.
Plus, you can use shape keys in Blender, and that's a lot harder to integrate with Mecanum. And shape keys allows you to actually move the mesh versus actually like animating a movement of, say, an arm. You can actually like thicken the arm or thin it or do things like that. So like if you wanted like a character creation, you could actually do it through an animation instead of having several models.
Hey,
So that would cut down a lot of the polygon.
I wanted to ask you, Aaron. So you need one bone for Unity to recognize the object.
Yeah,
Animated
I've never had success otherwise.
So do you just put like one bone and say a parented object to like a tank to animate it, or do you just place a bunch of bones in relation to each other? Because you wouldn't want the mesh to bend. You wouldn't want the turret to bend.
Yeah.
You would want it to.
Well, you could have a complex rig and do shape keys if you wanted, but I don't think that's necessary for the tank. So
Right. That's what I
yeah.
was.
So like dead center, say in the tank, just like zeroed out, you would have it right in the center of it, and you would you have to do weight painting. I don't know if you've ever done that before.
I have. I hate it.
Yeah, I know. Well, luckily with shape keys for a simple thing like a tank, it should go ahead and weight paint for you since it's only one bone, so it assumes the whole thing. So you just color the whole thing, saying that it's going to manipulate the whole object. That way in Unity it understands what it's controlling. And then you do shape keys and you export that animation to Unity and then set it to Legacy and then you program it and it's good. And that's pretty much it. It's way simpler than Mecanum is.
Yeah, but if they're gonna use Mecanum, I'm assuming, if they're gonna make everything else legacy, wouldn't it be better for us to go that route?
It would be in the future as far as updates. And I mean, they've been talking about this for like the past 4 or 5 updates, and they haven't fully transitioned. I don't know if they ever fully will, but they're trying to persuade this, and they're trying to do all their own in-house stuff, where you can basically do everything in Blender and Unity, but they're far from that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get rid of Legacy fully, They're just trying
No,
to put you
I
into
don't.
a,
Yeah, and I don't think they will either because they are going to have to be backwards compatible with the
yeah,
other
exactly.
clients they have. However,
And
if this is the main way that they're going to support things, then us, getting support and us using, what they recommend now, because if they're doing this now, let's say 2-3 years from now, they may come out with, a whole lot more stuff just for this, or they may even come up with something new, and then the old legacy stuff will be deprecated, and then we got
yeah,
problems. And I want to.
and it's just-
I'm not saying we stay on the bleeding edge of things, but I do want to kind of keep us up to date within reason, to where we're not trying to fight old technologies for new abilities.
yeah.
Because the life cycle of this is we're going to continue to support it even after we develop the game. Has everybody here played League of Legends, or at
I've
least?
heard, I haven't played it personally.
Okay, so they have continuous updates, and that's what I want us to get to, is to where we have, to where when people talk about RTS, most people talk about like StarCraft 2, Warcraft, Command and Conquer series. Those are the general ones that you hear about. Would everybody agree?
Yeah.
So the idea here is to we create the RTS that everybody talks about, and kind of go from there. So we're gonna have to start really small, obviously. And
Yeah.
when our first game is not going to be nearly as good as a lot of games. Everybody here was in on the demo of 8-bit armies, right? Did everybody get a piece of that?
Oh, I don't think I did.
Oh,
Okay, so on Steam, there's this game that we purchased, and some of us played. Let me zoom this out. And if you look at the graphics of this and the gameplay of this, let me skip ahead here. This is a knockoff of Command and Conquer Red Alert 2. It is almost an exact replica, but dumbed down a lot. Like, look at the GUI. It's almost an exact replica of it. Everything you do in this game, I mean, I played this game and I mastered it on the hardest difficulty level within, I'd say, 2 to 3 hours of playing it. I mean, it's a very dumbed down game, but this is the look and feel we're going for, but we're going for more modern combat, storyline type situation. And then we're also going to put in, once we get the modern combat stuff down, we're going to start going back in the ages and maybe even into the future type situation.
oh.
So this is basically, if you guys want like the closest thing to what we're building, I think this is probably it as far as graphics go. But obviously we want to look at the GDD for how the gameplay will actually work out. So if you look at look at the animation and stuff here, this is here. You see this red tank dead center? It just rotated its turret a little bit. Let me back up here, or let me back up. Watch that. Yeah, dang it, back up further. Watch that tank in the middle. See that?
Yeah.
Those are the type of things you see. Yeah, see, same thing with these turrets here. How they kind of auto select or auto rotate to what they're shooting at.
So,
Yeah.
so these groups of tanks, are they commanded or are you controlling them?
Well, there'll be a level of AI in the game. You can't have the user click and attack every single thing. There'll be an auto attack feature and things like that.
Okay, well, you can do a very simple animation for that with just a look at in a script, and then if the
Yeah, but
turret is a separate piece, you can just have it follow what it's going to shoot at, what the target is, and that would be a very simple way to animate it without actually animating it.
okay, that's something we're gonna want to look at. Robert, did you catch that?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what's it called again, Aaron?
It's a look at, I believe.
Okay.
So you
It's
mean,
like transform.look at, I think.
yeah, I think it's look at. So you mean we put like a script on a turret, just part of the tank. So when it attacks, it looks at it.
Okay. And we still have to have a control of the turret on top of the tank, though. So we're still going to have some way of rotating it one way or another to where it doesn't rotate the tank. It only rotates the turret.
Yeah. You can have the script access just that top piece where the turret is. That way, it doesn't rotate the whole tank.
Okay.
Almost like turning the head.
Okay. Robert, do you want to make an agenda for that to look into it to see, as far as API goes, what we need to actually control that?
Okay.
Because we're gonna have, like the soldiers and stuff, their heads will end up moving. Maybe not their body may face the other way. We want nice fluid movement at the end of this. I know at the start of it, we're gonna have some kind of glitchy, kind of weird looking things going on, but as we continue to progress with the game and doing continuous updates, we want to make this more of a natural feeling RTS to where it's really really fun to play, and it doesn't look like it's just fell off the truck, which unfortunately that's where we need to start at, I think. So let me get out of this. I'll post this in the chat for anybody that has not seen this yet.
Okay.
The important thing to know about Mecanum too is whenever you go to script the animations, you have to script for the animator, not the animation component. The animation is specifically for Legacy and animators for Mecanum.
Okay, so let's take a look at that real quick in Unity because I've seen that. Let's see. I gotta remember where I seen that at now. I thought it was under 3D. Just put a cube. You're talking this one?
Yeah. So animator is for Mecanum.
Okay.
So that one, you'll actually, when you go to make an animation, you'll actually see keyframes up, and you can like literally animate a moving object like one you have in the scene currently, and you can play it back and then write a script to tell it. Like if you wanted like a cube to move across the screen, for instance, that's how you would do that. And that's Mecanum basically, like the simplest version.
Okay.
So that's one way to animate inside of Unity, very simply.
Okay, so for now, guys, let's kind of make this a baseline for us to test with. Right now, we're going to use Mecanity with the animator, and I want to see what we can get away with it. And then we'll also use the look at API call that Aaron brought up to see what we can get away with that. I think obviously the less animation we do in Blender, I think the less confusing it'll be. So anything we can get away with where the whole item has to move until we can figure out how to control certain parts of it, we'll use the API. But if it's something that we just, I think at this point we need to figure out exactly how to split that out, from the bottom of the tank to the turret. And then, then we get into talks about like the tracks of a tank, how to make those move.
Okay. Hey, on that, the way I would originate it would be that, I'd probably maybe just make one tank tread in voxel and then duplicate it in Blender, because you wouldn't want, you wouldn't want it to be one piece. I don't think it would be really hard to animate that way.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just a matter of how do we keep it on the track and everything like that.
Yeah, it's a weird shape. So
if it's parented to the main, shouldn't it just? I mean, you'd put your, I don't know. I've only animated for video, so I don't know exactly what the difference is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there is one, and I understand part of it by what you said. It needed one bone to read it. So I was like, okay, it has to read it first. So, but having read it once, if it can't, does it need like a bone in every part to read it?
No. Just the main object.
Does it read a parent
Like
to
when
that
it goes,
bone?
will it understand that? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
I
Yeah,
think,
it should.
yeah, the API, I think you can grab the parent item of whatever you're messing with.
So I don't know. It seems to me you wouldn't really need to do much more than that to, to get it to move everything independently and in its hierarchy.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do, should we split the agenda up? Let's do one tank agenda just for the turret, this one here. For someone to kind of work with that and Unity and everything else. And then let's go with another one. We'll create another one just for the tracks. Do you guys think that would be sufficient as far as animating the actual model itself?
Right. And the wheels.
Yeah, let's see, tank animation, let's see, turret. And then let me, let's throw this in there because this is the methodology I think we're gonna probably prefer just because I want us to stay on top of, what they're coming out with as far as standards for their own software. Since we are, I mean, by all defaults, guys, we're a prisoner of Unity. So if we don't comply with Unity, then we're going to end up with, headaches of trying to merge our own custom stuff into it, and I don't want that. I want us to, just kind of speed of development here. Once we have a game that we can play and modify, then at that point, if there's something that Unity doesn't do or we think we can improve on or something, then we'll go from there and start adding to it. But for right now, I really want us to stay within the realm of kind of standards that Unity has for itself.
Yeah.
Just for speed of development mainly. And then, once we get to a point to where we have a game and we can all play it together, then at that point we can start breaking out from there. I think one of the main things that we're going to end up probably breaking would be the networking. I don't know. I want to do a client-server network type situation to where the game is hosted off of our server, and so the client has to talk to our server in order to play it. And there's a whole architectural thing with that we can discuss at another time. But that's kind of the direction we're going. As you guys know, we're making more of a PvP game versus a PvE game. The PvE part of it is more of a tutorial of how to play the game, and then we want to kick everybody into PvP type play. And let me pull up a URL here for anybody that has not reviewed this. Now, this is not an RTS. If you look at the team chat, this is not a RTS game, League of Legends, okay? But it's a MOBA, and I think our goal here is to create a RTS to where we can kind of do the same thing that League of Legends does, but only an RTS format to where we can have a strategy game that is, unique and not like anything else that anybody's ever seen, and also continually update it to where we can have maybe tournaments and things like that. So, all right. I just want to make sure that our direction's clear as far as what we're trying to achieve, because I know the GDD is long and reading it can be kind of boring. So, okay, let me see, create. Okay, so on my action list, I need to create the design agenda. Daniel,
Yes.
will you go ahead and bid on the turret agenda?
Sure.
And then, or yeah, the turret agenda, and then we'll get that assigned out to you. Aaron, you're still on the camera. So, Robert, let's look at game design. You go ahead and create those agendas that I asked you to create for, and then you can go ahead and just bid on those and approve them for yourself.
Okay.
So, okay. Is there anything you guys want to go over? I mean, do you guys want to? I don't think at this point we have enough knowledge. At least I don't, to actually model it. And I would have to watch this hour video to even have a clue of what I'm starting to get into. So I think at this point it would probably be best if we have Daniel do that. And then, I don't know, maybe later down the road, maybe next Saturday, we can have him demonstrate it for us of how it works. Does that sound feasible, Daniel?
Okay, would you go over the initial part of that? Oh, the turret?
Yeah, just how you did the turret and using this mechanism.
Mechanism to animate it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe next Saturday, let's plan on that. So next Saturday, we want to have the scripting for the camera done for sure, because I'd like to close that out of the flow chart that I showed you guys. And then I also need to make the vertical slice flow chart.
Also, Daniel, if you need more documentation, the manual, if you just go on there and if you type in Mechanim and it'll basically spell everything out for you, and it's probably going to be a lot more helpful than this video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think as a collaborative group, I think we'd all kind of be interested in how and where you found the information to do it. Because we're gonna, when we get done with this, Daniel, we're gonna want to write a wiki. Are you good at just kind of writing things up? Because we have.
I'm good at breaking things down, and I might want someone to proof it, and if they have anything they don't understand in there, then then address it.
Okay, and that's fine. Tessa actually has a major in English. So.
Oh, great.
So this is the one for just coding standards for the tanks and stuff, or for not tanks, for models, for creating models in Blender, which is a little outdated because we went to the voxel thing. So we should I'll probably have to work on that. Where is this?
The main difference I found, that was still pretty handy. The main difference I found was that voxel, when the OBJ was imported, was that it already had the desired position in the Blender.
Oh, really? So it has the same viewport as Blender then?
It seemed everything seemed to be properly faced, in the negative, negative Y on this.
Oh, nice. So that means that, well, that would have to mean that voxel and Blender have the same, or voxel and Unity have the same viewport. So that's good. I don't see.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Well, we got the thing down here. Blue is up. I don't know if they keep the
Z-axis goes up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll probably want to just touch base on that. But basically, what we're going to want is we're going to want another one of these wikis that explain the how to do the animation. We're not talking like, do this, do that, do this. It's more of, I think it's going to be more complicated than what we can put a wiki together for. But it's more the steps of, first you need to make sure you got this done, and here's a link to show you how to do it type situation. Rather than spelling it out, because we as a collaborative group, it take us a while to actually make a video like this. So I find it a lot easier that if we put inside of here, if we put links like this link here, explain why you need it, why it's there, and then let them watch the video and then continue on with the next, what needs to happen next type situation, and then any gotcha type situations.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So, okay. Well, I think that's all I have at this very moment. So do you guys, is there anything else you guys want to cover?
I did have one question, if anybody else would be interested, and that is about doing kind of like what you're just talking about in a sense, but to do not like, an hour-long video or nothing, but just like simple screenshots or tutorials. Maybe we could put it in like a video form. I wouldn't mind covering some of those, like on the process.
Oh, yes. We started down that road with Jono. He actually created a animation, a jet animation
Yeah.
with inside of Blender, I believe, which is good. But like I said, we need it inside of Unity, because that's, I mean, in the end, that's where it's going. So I think if we kind of use it in Unity, once we get to a point where we're actually comfortable with doing it, coming up with videos on it is okay. The only problem is that obviously anything we do as a group takes us away from game development. And at this point in our development, I don't want us moving away from anything other than the game development until we have something that we can actually play. So we're probably looking at probably after beta. Next we have vertical slice, and then we have beta. Does everybody here know what vertical slice is? Have you heard the term?
It's a cross section of the game.
Yeah, it's like a playable section of the game is what we're doing. It's a fully function piece of the game that you can play for like testing, for like showing off. So like if we were going to do like a Kickstarter type campaign or something like that, you'd want a vertical slice that they could play just a very small piece of the software, interact with it like you normally would.
Oh.
And then outside of whatever you've created, nothing else pretty much works. It's a very basic, dumbed down version of a demo, you might say. So that's our next goal after MVP is done. And if let's take a look at that flow chart one more time here. I think if we have those things done, I think that we could probably call MVP done, which I really want to get this off the plate, because we've been on this for a long time, and it's just a matter of learning and figuring out, exactly what direction and where we're going with it, and trying to make it to where it's the goals that we set are within the abilities of the team. So I think at this point we're at that point that our art animation, our art and art style animation, all that shouldn't be too difficult for our team, because of the size of our team and the knowledge that each and every one of us brings to the team. It seems to be working out really well. So looking at this, I think if everything's done by next Saturday, we could probably stamp this as done and move on. Would you agree, Robert?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's possible.
Tessa? She gave me a thumbs up. Okay, so let's plan on that, and then I'm gonna reach out directly um, to Edward. He is okay. He's still working on this. I'm gonna see real quick if he's put in. He doesn't have any notes on it yet, so I'll reach out to him, see what he is on that, and then get him switched over to creating that plane as quick as possible. Okay, so the only other thing is that I can think of is, do you guys want to see the new design at all? Are you guys interested in the new design of the website?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at it, and if you guys have any suggestions, now's the time to speak up. All right, so here's the sandbox. This is the homepage, and you're not going to see this homepage if you're logged in. It won't come up for you. But basically, just an introduction to the team. And then we've cut down a lot of the pages, like a lot of the pages that were duplicates and stuff, they're no longer here. So we have projects, and we'll probably end up with more than one project eventually, I hope. But we'll have these projects, and it'll be listed by this. And then basically, so I clicked on agenda. Now, you guys kind of go with it a little bit here. I've been messing with some stuff to try to test, how things look. And I know this background's kind of annoying. It will be removed. But as you can see here, so when you click on any of these, like you guys kind of see the same layout. You got your long-term, mid-term, or long-term, short-term, mid-term, official release, and assets listing on the agenda page. And then you have this modal here that shows up whenever you click on one. So all the information will be right here. And then if you want to see it in full view, you can hit the expand button, and it'll completely take up the screen. And then you hit shrink, it goes back down to just this, and obviously closing and everything. You'll have this button over here, this extra button, that'll pop out all the other little tweaks and quirks that the website can do for you. So like one of them is showing all of the audio assets only, to where it shows you everything that the audio people like to look at, the distance of, or the length of the track and all that. It's a total breakdown of that. So that's what this extra button does. Now you'll notice that this extra button disappears and shows up like right now. And when it does that, it just means that there's nothing on this page that we have that needs, it needs more functionality. Like the blog page, for instance, has nothing. There's also I don't know if the video recorder can see that, but you'll see that a lot of the pages have kind of an animation to them too. And then we also have the View Hub page, which will be kind of a listing of what's actually going on right now. The producer button, you won't see this. It'll only just be Tessa and I, but there may be another button here. This is just for controlling the website, basically. There may be a button here that has your game role, so like 3D artist. And if there's any extra functionality that we think you need or that's requested, it'll be there. But what I'm trying to do is basically get it to where you have two areas. You have this area, and then you have the hub screen. So it's almost, you can't get more simplistic than that, because I know that a lot of the GUI issues that we're having with the website is just, where do I find stuff, is a question I get asked all the time. So we're trying to alleviate that by making it, as simplistic as possible. So the hub page will be just kind of like the hub page we have now, to where it shows you what we need done and what you're working on. And then this little happy face right here, will actually change color and change its face based off the team reporting. So you guys notice on the normal website we have at the bottom we have this little thing right here. So we're putting it there, and basically when you click that, it's going to take you into what's been done. I noticed that a lot of the members click on the based off the analytics of the website, a lot of the members click on this link right here, which goes over everything that's been done back to, I think, 3 weeks or something, and all the assets that have been uploaded. And then this is all the content that's been created recently. And this, I mean, this is like the most popular page outside the agenda page if you look at the analytics of where everybody goes. So that's what this will be. Then you have your your search page, which is, you know, it'll be basically the same thing as our search, only table form. And then we have the member sign-in stuff. So all of your PayPal transactions, all of your activities that you have done, the software list, your account and messages will be here. And then the footer is just basically the newsletter sign up and contact us form, which shows up on everything, latest stuff we've done, and then kind of a mini sitemap layout thing here. But that's, I mean, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. You'll notice that all the pages have some sort of animation as well, and all of them should have this little pop-up here. So whenever you click on anything, you should get this right here as an overview, and then the expand button if you want to really look at it. So do you guys have any questions?
No, I like it.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will solve our navigation issues with the current website. This website was developed back in like 2011, something like that, and it's never been updated as far as the look and feel of it goes. So we're trying to get it kind of more modernized. So, okay. So if that's all we got, then I think that's it for now.
All right. Hey, Aaron, I did want to ask you, what was that last thing you said that would be more beneficial than looking at these than the video that was posted in?
Oh, yeah. If you go to Unity's documentation, you can search through about anything that's on there.
Yeah, Aaron,
So,
would you like go ahead and like do that and then post a link in the team chat? Can you do that?
Yeah. Fine. That'll work. And just search anything like Legacy or Mecanum or anything for the animation, and you'll find tons of information about it. Well, I'll go ahead and post a link.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Okay, so I think that's all I got for this week, and I look forward to seeing next Saturday's progress.
All right.
Should be fun. If you guys can get it to me by 6 o'clock Friday, I can have it in the build and everything by Saturday morning. So
All right.
just FYI, that way we can actually really look at it and not just look at it on the website.
Okay.
Oh, and Daniel,
Yes.
there's a manual for Unity as well as a scripting API. So you can also choose what language, like for programming for anybody else that cares for that. There's C# or Java or whatever.
We're strictly C# guys.
Yeah. So if you find Java documentation, you can also, there's a setting somewhere on there where you can choose C# and it'll tell you. So just for anybody that doesn't know about that.
Right. Well, I don't.
All right, guys. Well, it was fun. I think we've covered a lot of stuff. I look forward to it. So at this point, I'll go ahead and close out the recording. Now, these recordings that I've made today, we're going to start doing this and then posting them up to YouTube for the rest of the team to review. So I got to do that, I guess. I got to figure out how to do that. So, okay. Well, I'm going to get off here and start on that. If you guys need anything, you let me know.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Later, guys.
All right. Good speaking.